welcome everyone to our another episode of ABAP on Cloud with me, Amrit. So first of all, thank you very much for subscribing our playlist. Now let's move on to our next episode. So in the previous session, we saw the introduction part of our ABAP on Cloud. Now we will move on to our cloud part, which is SAP BTP platform, and we will explore this particular thing in this particular video. So BTP platform, this will be my second episode. So second episode of our this complete ABAP on Cloud training. So we will start with on-premise system versus cloud. So what is on-premise and what is cloud? So on-premise versus cloud. On-premise system versus cloud system. Okay, so first of all, what is on-premise? So on-premise system, what is on-premise system? Let's see that part, then we will move on to the next part. So on-premise. Now if we talk about our on-premise system, what we will see is, so in order to use a software in case of on-premise, what you are going to see always is, so in case of your on-premise system, in order to use a software in the company, we will need always some components, right? We will always need some components. So we will discuss those components and then we will relate with our on-premise and cloud system, how they are different and how they provide different kinds of facilities. So in order to use a software in the company, we will need various components, right? So we will need multiple components. We will need the multiple component part. So let's see that. What are the parts that we need whenever we are talking about on-premise system or cloud system? We will always need multiple components. These components includes hardware, operating system, right? Definitely we will need the operating system, hardware. We will also need networking, right? Then we will need the security or administration team, the software we will need. So let's say if I'm going for SAP installation, I will have to purchase the SAP software itself, okay, and all the supporting libraries also that is necessary. So we will need all the supporting libraries. So libraries, we will need all the supporting libraries. Runtime environment is needed for execution of a program, so runtime environment. Then we will need database to store the data, so databases, and then we install our software on all our servers, right? On our all servers. This is what we do. And then we finally, first we do the installation and then we finally configure it to run customize. So run customize, adapt. So to run customize, adapt, and then use it. This is what we do, right? So if you want to simply install a software, this is the thing you will need in case of SAP. So what you will see, so in order to use a software, we have to we have to manage everything. Okay, we have to manage everything on our own. So hence the total cost of ownership is very high. Okay, total cost of ownership is very high. Definitely it will be high because we need to purchase our own hardware, operating system, networking, security team, or administration team. Then we buy the software itself, all the supporting libraries, the runtime environment, and the required databases. Okay, so if we talk about on-premise system, so for example we have SAP ECC system, SAP BW system, business warehouse for data analytics of SAP data. Then CRM is there, right? Customer relationship management. Then supply relationship management, SAP SRM is there, right? Everything is here. Okay, this is a on-premise system. Now what if we talk about this on-premise system? Lots of disadvantages there, right? So disadvantage, so lots of disadvantages here in case of on-premise system. So the disadvantage of a on-premise system, so this advantage of a on-premise system is slower pace of innovation. Here we cannot directly go for innovation because we are required to follow lots and lots of steps. So that is, in case there will be new release of that software, that what we usually see, SAP usually releases new version of everything. So if there will be new releases of the software delivered by the software company, then we need to apply and upgrade our system, and to apply and upgrade over our system over the time. Okay, this is a challenge, right? So innovation pace is slow because here we will have to go through lots of steps for upgradation. And what we see usually the release cycle of on-premise system, system is 1 year. Usually it is 1 year. So that is only after 1 year we can get new features of the upgraded system. Okay, this is a particular disadvantage for our on-premise system, right? Then now we will talk about the cloud part. So cloud offers variety of things. Cloud is not a single particular thing, it usually offers lots of features. So I will go for that part, cloud, in detail. So cloud can be divided into various portions, out of which the first one is infrastructure as a service, also known as IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So one by one we will discuss it in detail. What is IaaS? So IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. Okay, as a service, right? Then whatever infrastructure we need to run a software, which includes the computer, computer unit, let's say the hardware, okay, the hardware, the random access memory, that is RAM, the hard disk, right, whatever thing we need, so the hard disk, the CPU, okay, what we will do, everything, so all these things we will rent a computer from the internet, okay. So whatever thing we need for execution of all these things, so whatever infrastructure we need, like computer, hardware, RAM, hard disk and CPU, all these things, what we will do is we will go to a particular organization who is providing us the computer over the internet. So lots of companies are doing these things, so lots of companies are doing, so many companies are providing this with different storage, so with different storage and RAM features based on price, okay, which varies from price to price. So various companies are doing the same thing. Many companies are providing this with different storage RAM features which varies from price to price. For example, Amazon AWS, so Amazon AWS, Amazon Web Services, they are providing infrastructure as a service. Then we have another feature of cloud, which is PaaS or PaaS. So this is the second feature, and if we talk about this one, this is PaaS, stands for platform as a service. Platform as a service. PaaS stands for platform as a service. Now in case of PaaS, so in platform as a service, in order to run a software, the entire hardware, so the entire hardware will be rented out from somebody, okay. So for example, let's say I will take all the hardware over the internet from somebody, okay, plus, so like infrastructure as a service, plus what we will also rent out, we will also rent out, so we will also rent out database for storing data, runtime environment for execution of program, environment for execution, environment. Then we will go for, let's say, operating system. Operating system is very crucial for any software, right? So everything we will rent out, which includes the hardware and also the software part like runtime environment, databases, operating system and all these things. So here what we see is, here the entire system, in case of our PaaS, the entire system is managed by the vendor. Here the entire system is managed by the vendor who is providing the platform, that vendor is responsible for managing it. So what is our job here? So as a developer we will only build the software on top of this entire platform, okay. As a developer we will only build the software on top of this entire platform. So this is what our BTP platform is all about. This is equivalent to our BTP platform. This is what our BTP platform is all about, which provides, so what is BTP? BTP stands for Business Technology Platform. and on cloud it provides platform as a service, so which provides the provides the entire platform, and we only develop our software. So whatever the runtime, database, hardware and operating system, whatever it is needed for execution, it is taken care by the BTP platform, that is SAP. It is taken care by SAP, and we are just using it. So we are just using it. Okay. So this infrastructure as a service, lots of companies are doing same thing. So instead of setting up our own databases in this particular things, so what SAP here is doing, SAP has also done partnership with this organization, partnership with this organization, these organizations, to use their infrastructure as a service, to use their infrastructure as a service for their own platform. That is what they did. So how they build this BTP platform, but before that, this is what infrastructure as a service is all about. Here you see virtualization, server, storage, networking, everything is taken care by the computer over the internet. For example, Amazon, right? Everything is taken care by them. Amazon AWS is there, Google Cloud is there. So let's say Google Cloud is also a part of it. Okay. You might have also heard about the Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft Azure is also doing the same stuff, right? So what these companies are doing, they have simply how they are providing it. So these companies have set up their hardware. They have simply set up their hardware on their various data centers. They have set up their hardware on their various data centers, and now they are renting out their hardware to us. So they have done lots and lots of investment, and they have created their own data centers, and now they are just providing all that hardware as a computer over the internet, which we can use for our development part. So SAP has also done the partnership with this Amazon AWS and all these things. Okay, so this is platform as a service. So this is for developer like us. This is what our BTP business technology platform is all about, right? So here what we will do is to build a platform. So traditionally we need a database programming language, support laptop with the platform as a service. We don't need to do anything now on our own. We can directly use the BTP platform and we can simply develop our application. So as a developer, what we will see is, as a developer we will be using this platform as a service. So as a developer we will build this application on top of this entire platform, and platform will manage the infrastructure. So infrastructure behind the scenes. Platform will manage the infrastructure behind the scene. Okay, so here we will manage the applications. For example, this is our platform as a service. It provides the runtime, middleware, database and OS, and this is what we are going to do. As a developer we will manage the application and data, and in the behind this platform is going to manage the infrastructure, right? So here we will manage the application and data, and the infrastructure will be managed by one of the SAP partner, for example Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, right? This is what they are going to do. Okay, so this is my platform as a service is all about. Then we have the third one, you might have also heard about it, which is uh, not to-do list, AAS, AWS, also known as application as a service. So application as a service. So you might have heard about SAP success factor, you might have heard about as SAP Ariba, right? All these things you might have heard about it. So now let's say as a developer, we all know that we need to manage our application also, that we will be building it. So application and data also. Okay, so let's say I don't want to manage the application. Let's say I don't want to manage the application and data. Then it becomes the application as a service. Then it becomes the application as a service. Application as a service. Then it becomes the application as a service, which we will use in day-to-day life. Okay, only as a user, not as a developer, so only as a user. So for functional consultant and module like material master and HCM, human capital management, SAP came with this application as a service. So here SAP is responsible for managing the entire application data, and we will be just using it as a user. This is the job of a functional consultant if we talk about our SAP Ariba platform or success factor, right? So for example, SAP Ariba, so for example SAP Ariba, okay, SAP success factor, so success factor, okay, SAP S/4HANA Cloud success factors, SAP S/4HANA Cloud, SAP S/4HANA Cloud, SAP Analytics Cloud. All these things will be treated as application as a service. So I hope the difference is clear between the platform as a service and application as a service. In case of platform as a service, the vendor who is providing the platform, for example SAP is providing the BTP platform, business technology platform, is responsible for managing the hardware and runtime environment, and as a developer we are responsible for developing the application and then using it. But sometime if we talk about for functional consultant, they are not the core developer, right, for them. So for the modules like material management, HCM, and also for analytics part, SAP has simply created the applications and they are responsible for managing the application and data over there, and we as a user, we are going to use these cloud platforms like Ariba, SuccessFactor, S/4HANA Cloud, and Analytics Cloud. Okay, now the question comes here, how SAP build, because this is not our job to understand this success factor and Ariba, we will focus on our main BTP platform. So here is the question, how SAP build the BTP platform. So how SAP build the BTP platform, because they knew that let's say Amazon AWS or Google Cloud, they are providing the infrastructure, that is they are providing the computer over the internet, which we can use it for our purpose. The question is how SAP build this BTP platform, because additional things were needed like runtime environment, database integration, SAP environment, operating system, S/4HANA operating system there, how they build that. So when SAP wanted to develop the BTP platform as a platform as a service, so what they did is they did not build it from scratch. No, SAP never built anything from scratch. What they do is they went into the market. They went into the market to find out, is there any open source platform which is doing the same thing which is doing the same thing. So what they find out, same thing, and what they find out, find out they find out that there is one company named Cloud Foundry. They found a company, Cloud Foundry, which was doing the same thing, and which was, so Cloud Foundry, which was an open source platform as a service. So if you want, you can directly go and check Cloud Foundry. So Cloud Foundry, developed by, so they found out that Cloud Foundry, so you can see here Cloud Foundry was developed by a team at VMware led by Derek Collision, originally called Project B29, which it was convinced in 2009, essentially making VMware the primary developer of Cloud Foundry. So SAP found out that there is a particular company, Cloud Foundry, which is a open source technology. So there is one open source technology, Cloud Foundry, which was doing the same thing. So what SAP did, since it was a open source, anybody can use it. So what SAP did here, SAP took all the libraries. So SAP took all the libraries. They took the open source image of the Cloud Foundry. They took the open source image of the Cloud Foundry, and on top of it they added their own flavors. On top of it they added their own flavors and services. So on top of it they added their own flavors and services, which is the SAP system and all its features. So what SAP here is doing, it is taking the infrastructure as a rent from all these platforms which are providing as infrastructure as a service. SAP is in partnership. SAP simply used this Cloud Foundry environment, and then they simply added their own features and services. And what you see is Cloud Foundry here, the Cloud Foundry became the backbone. Cloud Foundry became the backbone for SAP to build their BTP platform. So what is the BTP platform? So if we have to simply divide the BTP platform, it is equal to IaaS, infrastructure as a service, may be provided by let's say AWS or Google Cloud, anybody, or Azure, plus Cloud Foundry, okay, plus SAP services and features. All these things they combine together and they build this wonderful business technology platform, which was earlier known as so this platform, so this was earlier known as HANA Cloud Platform. Then they renamed it as SAP Cloud Platform. So SAP Cloud Platform, and in 2021 again they renamed it as Business Technology Platform. So Business Technology Platform. This is what SAP is all about. Sorry, SAP BTP platform is all about. Okay. And I hope you understand why we are moving towards the cloud. So why we are moving towards the cloud, or why SAP is moving towards the cloud. So why SAP is moving towards the cloud. So let's discuss that. What is the benefit of it, and why it is essential for all of us to learn this BTP platform as a ABAP developer or as a cloud application developer, right? So what you see here is lots of features are there. First, let's say for example scalability. So here if we need to increase the infrastructure, if we need to increase the infrastructure, if we need to increase the infrastructure or other platform features, then we can directly ask the platform. We don't need to perform all the setup, right? Then we can directly ask the platform that yes, I need this particular thing, please provide me. So we can directly ask the platform to do that, and we can pay the small rent for it, right? Because getting everything on-premise is a very costly thing, but here everything is scalable. Let's say I'm working for 100 gigabyte RAM and I immediate need 300 gigabyte RAM. So what I will do, I will simply request my infrastructure or platform as a service to increase it, and they will simply do it on an immediate basis, right? But it is not, it is very difficult in case of on-premise, because we will have to again buy the RAM, and we will have to make the setup. We will have to discuss this with our basis team to make the changes. So it will be also a time taking process, right? And lots of problem. Then we also have elasticity feature. So elasticity is ability to use different flavors and techniques. So ability to use the different flavors. So flavors and techniques. Okay. Then it also provides variety of options on technology. So technology programming model. So programming model databases, okay, which we can directly get at a single location, This is the feature of elasticity. If we want to work on some other programming things, we can directly get it using this. It's elasticity feature of our cloud. And another feature which is lower total cost of ownership. So if we talk about the on-premise system, we will have to buy everything. Everything from scratch, right? Like hardware, software, runtime, administration team to handle it, right? We'll have to buy everything from scratch, and we'll have to keep a team to handle all these things. But SAP BTP platform provides a ready to use platform which we can directly use or directly take as a rent with a very minimum amount, okay, and then we can use it, right? So lots of features are there if we are talking about why SAP is moving towards cloud. because this is the only way which we can outstand the competition in the market. We will have to learn this cloud part, right? So this is very crucial for everyone. Then we have sometime lots of feature people don't know about this. So what is the difference between S4 HANA private cloud versus S4 HANA public cloud? So what is the difference between S4 HANA private cloud and S4 HANA public cloud? So what you see here is, in case of S4 HANA private cloud, S4 HANA private cloud, S4 HANA private cloud is where the infrastructure is owned by the company. So is owned by the company. Infrastructure is owned by the company. That is, we are simply buying our own infrastructure, okay, from Amazon. Let's say Amazon, okay. Infrastructure, we are simply buying everything on our own, let's say from Amazon, AWS, okay. And on top of that we are running our S4 HANA cloud. So that is what my private cloud is all about. As a company, we will buy the infrastructure as a service from the Amazon, AWS or Google Cloud. We will not directly go for SAP that I need this infrastructure service. As a company, we will pay for it, for all the infrastructure as a service, and on top of it we will purchase our SAP software and we will run our S4 HANA cloud. That is what my private cloud is all about. But in case of public cloud, in case of S4 HANA public cloud, this infrastructure is not owned by us, okay. It is not owned by us, but it is owned by the SAP. It will be owned by the SAP and they will pay for the infrastructure, right? They will pay for the infrastructure. What we will do, infrastructure, we will just use it and pay the rent to SAP. SAP has done the partnership for all these organizations and they will pay it accordingly. So these two features are there. If it is private cloud, we will own our own infrastructure, we will pay the rent for it. But if we are going for public cloud, we will not own anything, we will pay the rent for both infrastructure and platform to SAP system, okay. So both are software as a service. Both of them are working as a software as a service. It is just the difference of who owns the infrastructure. This is the clear difference. Who is owning the infrastructure? This is the only single difference here, okay. S4 HANA private cloud versus S4 HANA public cloud, okay. Now architecture of our BTP system. So architecture of BTP platform, very important. Business technology platform, architecture of this BTP system. So let's see the architecture of it, okay. So let's see the architecture of our BTP platform. Yeah, this is the architecture of our BTP platform. This is the architecture. If you see this business technology platform, SAP BTP is a very big platform which offers 4 major services. Here you see is database and data management, This one is analytics part. This one is my application development and integration, which comes under us as a developer. We are going for SAP extension suite for this extended development and integration. And at last we have intelligent technology like robotics and all those features. So SAP BTP is a very big platform used for building, integrating and extending a existing application. So right from scratch we can also go for greenfield implementation. We have seen this part in the previous session, we also discussed that, right? So here it in case of database and data migration, data management, we see SAP HANA, SAP HANA Cloud, SAP Data Intelligence, Master Data Governance and Adaptive Server Enterprise, right? Then if we talk about the analytics part, lots of features are there for analytics, which where the analytics consultants usually do the analytics part over the period of data. So data warehouse, cloud, DWC is there, business object, business planning and consolidation. Also you might heard about BW for HANA, this comes under this feature. Then we have this application development and integration. Here we have integration suite, extension suite and process orchestration. So every feature, if you whatever word you are seeing, everything has a separate course for it. But as a developer, this extension part will come under us for RESTful application programming model on ABAP on cloud. Then this new feature was integrated by SAP system for intelligent technologies like robotic process automation, conversational AI, IoT, business services, and also you might have heard about SAP RAM. So lots of features have been added. So all these four platforms are offered by SAP to the SAP partner companies like IBM, Accenture, TCS, EY and all those things. And this BTP is a very big thing, and gradually we are going to learn lots of things in this particular course. So RESTful programming model will be our feature that we are going to discuss. This was my architecture of SAP BTP. So I hope the difference is clear. What is this BTP platform, how we are going to use it for to become a ABAP on cloud developer. Okay, so thank you very much for watching the video. We will continue from next part.